Wednesday evening, we're down at Reflexions Gym in Dartford, and I'm joined by Chris Gearing. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Mark. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Really well, mate. Chris, just over 24 hours now to the big one, World's Strongest Man 2012. How are you feeling? What are your thoughts right now?
I'm nervous, not going to lie. I'm a little bit nervous, but you get that before any comp. It's just because I think I've never done it, so I'm not quite know what to expect as such with the running order, but I'm excited as well. I'm
really excited.
Yeah, this is what we train for. This is what I've always wanted to do. Obviously, when I've watched it before on telly and when I was little, and always wanted to make World's Strongest Man, and now I'm there. So, well, not there yet, but we're going to fly out. So, yeah.
You're flying out early hours of Friday morning?
Friday morning, mate, yeah. Early hours of Friday morning, and long old flight out there, sort of like 11 hours, but be all right once you're out there. A bit of sun, bit of food, be all right, mate.
And you're going out there with your dad as a bit of support?
Yeah, my old man's coming out with me, which is good, which is really helpful. He come to my first ever sort of international comp that I'd done when I was throwing, and now he wants to come to this one, which is good. Familiar face around me, and my old man's my biggest fan, so it's helpful.
And he's a West Ham supporter as well, so he's not a bad bloke, is he?
Yeah, he's all right, yeah.
So, you've been drawn in, some are calling it the group of death.
Yeah, it could be called that. To be totally truthful, all the groups are hard. There's not a weak link. It's World's Strongest Man. I don't think there's any weak groups. But yeah, I mean, I've drawn obviously Brian Shaw, which is last year's world champion, which is a good start, isn't it?
It's a great one to have Big Brian in your group. Yeah.
But it makes you step up your game competing against people like that, because you don't want to make yourself look silly. I don't mean it in an horrible way, because they're that much better. You're going to have to step up your game to keep up with them, so it's a good thing. You've got to take the positive out of it, not the negative. So
of course you've got to take the positives. And what are you doing, Chris? Are you looking to go out there, not to make the numbers up, because I know you'd never go out there, you wouldn't set foot on the plane if that was the case, but are you going out there as a learning curve, or are you going out there, do you honestly think you have a chance of making the final and ultimately placing at World's Strongest Man?
Of course I do. I mean, at the end of the day, I wouldn't have been invited out there if they thought that it was just making up the numbers and the rest of it. But it's going to be a case of I'm going to have to be top form and everything go my way to make the final, and hopefully that they don't. It's one of them. It's not, but we're all obviously Brian Shaw's Brian Shaw, and let's be honest, he's World's Strongest Man last year. The rest of them, I've never competed against. I've never competed against any of them, so they're all human. Everyone can be beat, but it's all going to have to go my way for it to work out for me to go to the final. I'm going to have to not make no mistakes. I'm going to have to do everything I can, and then see what happens with the points. It's going to come down to that. It's just going to be, I think whoever makes the mistakes is going to go out. It's going to be hard. It's not
small margins.
Yeah, it's going to be small. It's going to be tight. Every little second's going to count. Every last rep's going to count. You're going to have to go the whole minute. There's no case of sort of, for me personally, going 5 reps is enough. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to treat the heat like a final. It is my final, so, and anything I get after that, it's a bonus.
It's a bonus. That's absolutely superb. Well, Chris, listen, on behalf of the whole of the UK, we wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you very much, and thanks for all the support I'm getting. It's brilliant. It's a nice feeling to have all the support, but I'll do as good as I can do, and the rest is up to God, innit?
Okay, we asked people to tweet in at the real VOS their questions to you, Chris. Yep. And we've got one here from Harry Hanks. He's asked, how confident do you feel coming to this year's contest?
As confident as can be. I'm as strong as I've ever been, so everything's gone right. I feel good. There's nothing that's putting me down. All the events, they're not my best events, not my worst events, but I feel as good as I can be.
Feel as good as you can. And Ben Whiting has asked, what do you think they're going to be the strongest event for you this year? Deadlifts, frame, carry, etc., etc.
I think personally, out of the events that I've got in my heat, it's going to probably be the deadlift. My deadlift has come up the last year. It's gone through the roof, really. I mean, obviously I managed to pull 400 kilo at Britain's, but I think the deadlift out of all the events is going to be probably my better one out of all of the events I've got in my heat.
Okay, and one more burning question that's lighting up Twitter this evening is, who has the biggest head? Is it Brian Shaw or is it Terry Hollands? Your answer, please.
I'd say Terry Hollands, because I've seen it more than what I've sort of Brian Shaw. But yeah.
Okay, but according to Brian, your head's quite a contender as well now.
Yeah, I think we have to have a measure off, haven't we, when we get out there, to be honest. But it's going to look like a couple of beach balls on it if we get in the pool, to be honest.
That's it. So extra event. This is a breaking news. Extra event in World's Strongest Man this year. It is the head measuring contest, and the top three will be Brian, Terry, and you, Chris.
Let's hope he finishes that way, I know, in the final.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, thank you.